and play this thing.
Good morning. This is your Solent journalism update at 11:30 with me, Lucia Fernandes. To start off the day, we have some breaking news just in. Brexit Secretary Dominic Raab has resigned due to a disagreement over a deal with the EU. He has only been in the position since July. Our senior reporter Alex Giliandis is here in the studio to tell us what this could mean for Theresa May's leadership. Alex.
Well, Lucia, this puts enormous pressure on Theresa May, as Dominic Raab was one of the closest involved in drafting the agreement. Theresa May announced on Wednesday that she had secured the backing of her cabinet, even though several ministers had spoken out against it. In his resignation letter addressed to the Prime Minister, Mr Raab stated that above all he couldn't reconcile the terms of the proposed deal with the promises made in his last manifesto. But what does this mean for the future of the government? Labour has confirmed that it will vote against the agreement. The EU have announced that an emergency summit will take place on the 25th of November if the draft goes through, which is currently looking precarious, as Mr Raab's resignation has already created a domino effect within the party, with 5 more departures from the cabinet already today. So don't be surprised if you see more resignations in the coming hours, if not days. Back to you, Lucia.
Thank you, Alex. A 24-year-old man has been charged with the murder of 13-year-old schoolgirl Lucy McGoo. Her body was found at Southampton Sports Centre in July. She had been stabbed to death. Stephen Allen Nicholson, who has no fixed address, is being charged with 2 counts of sexual activity with a child under 16. Mr. Nicholson is due to appear before Southampton magistrates today. We will have more updates on proceedings later in the day. Following recent events, residents in Southampton may be feeling unsafe. Officials are trying to combat crime rates in the city, but City Councillor Dave Childs believes budget cuts are resulting in more antisocial behaviour.
But the money that's available to us is reduced. So in Hampshire, the last 4 or 5 years, we've seen 1,000 fewer policemen employed by the police authority because of the cuts that the government have made.
However, Councillor for Harfield Ward, Dan Fitzhenry, insists that residents have nothing to worry about.
Crime normally, there are issues that we've had. We're working with our partners to try and resolve those issues, but there's no need for the public to panic or have undue worry. But we've got to try and understand what's causing the problem.
Following on from crime in Southampton, knife crime is at all-time high for the city, with figures earlier on in this year revealing that there is a 140% increase in knife crime since 2013. Former Hampshire Police Commissioner Simon Hayes explains why knife crime might have increased.
A lot of knife crime is, not all of it, but a lot of it is drug related. A lot of it is debt collection within the drug world. So the constabulary and policing that sort of community needs to be really quite intense and strong and hard.
Firefighters were called to Cleethorpes Road yesterday at approximately 5 a.m. after reports of a car set on fire. The Peugeot 2006 was destroyed amongst the flames. The investigation was launched on Monday after another car was set alight in Cabot car park. Police say they aren't sure as to either the incidents are linked. At last count, Southampton has nearly 250,000 disabled residents, and with 15% of those people having their lives affected every day by their disability. We spoke to wheelchair user Joel Kimso and asked him if the council should be doing better in making the city more accessible for disabled residents.
Yes, because I believe if they saw the amount of disabled students that were in the uni, they would understand why it needs to be more accommodating around Southampton, because the population of disabled people in the uni is growing.
New student houses are set to build in the Old Town area of Southampton. The complex will feature a 5 to 6 story apartment block. However, is it yet to be approved by the council? So, are there already too many student houses in Southampton? Jordan Stevens, who works at the University of Southampton, has lived in the city his whole life, explains the pros and cons of student housing.
There are pros and cons for
having two high-quality universities here in Southampton, the students bring a lot of custom to the city. The city centre is vibrant, it's expanding, and a major con would be the fact that nearly every new building that seems to go up in the city is student housing. It comes to the point with how much student housing can you have until your city centre is overrun. Like me, myself, I did find it a struggle to try and live somewhere close to my work, which happens to be Southampton University Highfield campus. If I want to live close to my work, it's hard to find a place that isn't a student accommodation building or flat.
That's all for now. We'll be back with more stories and updates at 1:30.